your house. Hello, Crafty Crows! This is a rewind from 2 weeks ago as we bring back May 2025's very important crafties. Lovely to see you all. What a setup we have. Like, literally, it's family all the way down. Please check in your chat box for information about other writers, saying hello, and also where you are in the listing. Let me do a brief introduction of housekeeping if you've never come and sat with us or flown with us before. So, please mute for each poet. We know how this works. There's nothing more upsetting than you start and you hear somebody shouting at their kids during your performance. If you are unsure, usually it is on my phone, the little microphone at the bottom at the of your picture. If you're using your laptop, it's usually very, 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 very far to your left. But let us know if someone doesn't keep off a little bit. Jason and I will have to do the duty for them because we don't want people losing it. And also, we are recording right now. If you are not happy to be recorded, please let us know. Please make sure the poetry that you are doing today is poetry you can actually share. It counts as published when it is recorded. So please don't put anything that you're currently in discussions with different people and different things. Use something that you know and love. You are welcome to clap after people have read. Usually we burn down the chat box and say lots of positive things, quote each other's poems, do all that beautiful stuff. It always feels really nice for people. The event, as I said, is being recorded, but please only share poetry you're happy to share as being published. Open mic poets, please keep to a 3 minute slot. We have a really stacked deck today, so 3 minutes is realistically the truth. Things change though. If we do get longer time or we get a chance to go around again, we will let you know. But yeah, if you can aim for about 3 minutes, that's the ideal. Please use the chat to share your bios, books, and events. We are massively into people getting to know each other, making friends. Lots of people have met new friends through our group, so please utilize that. And the Gloucester Poetry Society is a volunteer-led society, so please spare a donation if you can. Throughout tonight's event, Jason will be putting links so you can find out more about Gloucester Poetry Society and where you can donate. It really helps because we can use it to support the writers that are coming in and also make more events happen. Also, consider joining with a society membership. Next month, this is the announcements for you. Crafty Crows features Stroud-based poet Kate Potts. A nice and local. If you didn't know, Jason's in Stroud. Beautiful city, wonderful place. Get in for that one. And July's feature is Deborah Harvey, who we have today, which is great. So if you can see, there is a schedule set up below. So the only thing left to do is for me to read something. So I'm not even going to think about it too much and just pick something out of my book. So I'm going to go for this one, which is Sweet Serenade, which is page 61. I want a prince who sits under the moon. Guitar in arms, he wistfully moves his fingers upward, as if he is caressing the breeze between his fingernails. I want a moon that sits with my prince, her ruddy complexion, a symbol of her transformation from once elegant Selene to persistent Artemis. I want a guitar that girdles my royal suitor. Its softened mahogany echoes passion, a compliment to my medium red oak tone. The stars sing their harmonies of hopefulness. They rearrange themselves for one night to point towards our enclosed, loving hands. The score made up of forest breezes, dewdrop perfume mixed with our harmonious. The strumming slows to an echo. I dream of a prince who lies under a moon, as he dreams silently of me dancing in the twilight, sees my eyes in passing comets. I dream of a moon that sits by my prince, illuminating hidden trails homeward, away from his most fearful nightmares. I dream of a guitar missing two strings. I wait for his patient touch and repair, like my heart anticipates his whispers.
Oh,
A rarely romantic poem from me there.
beautiful, beautiful.
I gotta give power to Ashley's adaptation there. They really took that one to like the next level. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, thank you very much. Notes about my book are in the thing. Are you all ready to kick it? You're comfortable, feeling sunshiny, especially if it's night for you in England. Because if you're ready to go, it's time to go. So our first is our wonderful Michael. The mic is yours, sir.
Hey everybody. Great to see y'all. Looking forward to this wonderful set to come from our feature. I'm going to start with one My wonderful little nibbling just graduated high school last week, and their chosen name is Eris, after the Greek goddess. And so this is an ode to Eris that I wrote for their graduation. Beauty balanced within strife, sharp eye sees art's unknown now, painting a new future, stroking viscous vision against new living canvas, colors joining in fresh, jubilant exploration of form and meaning, combined, absent, outdated restriction, change embraced in service of fair future. All attempts to claim what is for the fairest show only the tossed gold stays true through discord. Mischievous mystery contains sweet secret. Subtle language of symbol and spectrum, each texture taking greater meaning, combination controls contortion. Sweet juggler of pure reflection sees more than eye expects, world gifted with promise, uncompromised spirit, not bound to past or expectation, truth leading always to beauty. And out of this crowd, probably almost no one knows. Actually, I used to be an art dealer for a bunch of years, and it was a wonderful thing to do. And this is sort of a tribute to my years in the trade, called Even in Reproduction, for Jack and Steph. It is a great painting, even in reproduction. Humble poster holds soul of a lost master. Lovingly, I help find subtle and affordable framing to complement mass-produced miracle. Okay, it was in fact picked in part to match a pillow, but it will be the focus of continued contemplation. It will gently touch a heart, last thing at night, first thing in morning, beautiful when life is not. It is my honor to help put art and admirer together, knowing my humble part will daily reproduce delight. Okay, thank you very much. Looking forward to hearing everybody.
Delightful, Michael. Also, I love your piece for your nibbling. That's so wonderful. Also, the chosen name is so lovely. Was it you said that they just graduated?
Yes, just graduated high school.
Massive congratulations to
So
them.
yeah, I wrote that for their graduation.
That's so I love that. Thank you. What a literally delicate and lovely way to start. Thank you so much. And following that, with the same warm energy, Deborah, the stage is yours.
Thank you. I'm going to read a couple of poems from Love the Albatross, which is my collection about estrangement. And over the years since I've been estranged from my firstborn, I've learned that estrangements are littered with unreliable narrators, and I'm no exception. Losing everything on the M6 in the rain. There were hugs as you left. And you felt you'd largely been forgiven for letting the cat slip out through your legs as you carried in cardboard boxes and bags, the tortoise-shell queen taking her chance in a single pea-green glance and gone, careless words off a careless tongue. And 8 hours later, you're driving home, 160 miles in the rain, bootlock jammed open, lid flying up, and your backpack, laptop, papers vanishing in the dark. If that's what happened. You know there were hugs as you left. You felt you'd largely been forgiven for letting the cat slip out through your legs as they carried in cardboard boxes and bags carelessly. There'd been a hunt, words off a tongue. She must have slipped out when you weren't watching. A shadow cat, more black than bronze, and asleep on bin liners in the kitchen where she'd been all along. Forgiven, careless. You hugged, the drive home slow in the inside lane, boot lock jammed open, lid roped shut. And somewhere, miles behind you, a key turning in a lock. And the second poem I'm going to read considers how the unresolved absence of someone you love, even over years, can make the relationship you still have with them, the one that's happening in your head, even more intense. 51 degrees, 16 minutes, 17 seconds north, 3 degrees, 1 minute, 24 seconds west. Today, I took you to the beach. We parked beyond the row of bungalows where that woman stabbed her husband over Bubble and Squeak, and followed the footpath that starts in the churchyard, tunnelling through buckthorn to the sea. As we skirted the big yellow buoy roped to the wreck, where you sat and smoked a roll-up that last Christmas you came down, I saw you hesitate, as if this earlier you was also with us, and might stop for a while, roll another, watch our dead dog running after his ball, but the moment passed and you kept pace with me. Even I could see you didn't really want to be here, but you've yet to find a way of evading the stories that spool through my head, where walking with me on a winter afternoon can still happen, and all our griefs, all our misunderstandings lie stranded on mudflats. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing such powerful and quite really, really moving words. Excellent imagery, may I say, as well. Leading on from that, we are moving to Jude. And hey, seriously, long time no see.
I know, yes, it has been a while, but in my defense, I have moved lock, stock, and barrel to a completely other country. So, not for the first time, but hopefully for the last. Although I don't know if any of you are following Portuguese politics at the moment. Who knows how long it will be safe to be here, but we will see. Okay, well, I'm going to read one for Beth, who often writes movingly about family, and I almost never do, but I thought you might like this one. For context, I'm the child of elderly parents, and my mother was also the child of elderly parents. And so this is about her father, and he was born in 1873. So get your head around that timescale. While I find the right page, here we go. It's called "For My Maternal Grandfather, Who I Never Knew, Whose Last Name I Stole." The poems you wrote as a young man are conventional. I have them, ink fading. They conjure Victorian summers, the kind that glower out of cracked old canvases. They are serious, stiff, and formal, as the family you fled when you left for good became a wanderer, London, Paris, Switzerland, the Côte d'Azur. There is so much more to say. I will not promise to write your life, but I have the poems and a photograph of you, young and bearded, and I know the day on which you died, the first day of the worst war, when you were the same age that I am now. You, old and sick, but you had also been young and sick and always vulnerable. And I don't know what you would think of my journey, or if you would see yourself in the mirror of my face. But I think that when my beard grows, I will look more like you than anyone. And I have your poems. One more very short one. This is something fairly new, actually, but it's in the tradition of poems about the ocean that I seem to have created for myself, perhaps because I was born by water. This is called What is Rooted Will Endure. The oldest living thing on earth may be a patch of seagrass growing in the great green, the sea we know as Mediterranean. Long before people, long before we gave names to bodies of water, oceans of seagrass danced with tides or slept under ice, salt and bright. This seagrass has known empires in the keels of ships, bodies drifting downward, lost in silt. This seagrass, salt and bright, does not know fear.
Absolutely divine. Thank you so much, Jude. I hope things do stay safe and well in the Portuguese side, but also it's always a glory to see you and the specificity of your writing. So, hey, from over this side. Next. Oop. Ronald, can you hear me?
He's muted, so I'm not sure he can hear.
Hey, Ronald, can you hear us? I know I sent a quick DM. Ooh. We'll wait just a second more, just 1 minute. I'm going to quickly do a little thing behind the curtain. We'll see if we can fix that. If not, I know what to do next. That's fine. Just...
Jen, I think if we move on to Ed.
Yeah. Oh, move on to Ed. Move on to
Ed, and then we'll do the switch with Ron for the second half. Hopefully, we can get to.
That's fine.
Extend.
Ed, are you okay to switch in? Sorry, we've jumped this at the very last minute for you.
Sure, no problem. I completely understand. And thank you, our wonderful coach that we love the most, that deserve a toast. And thank you, Ray. We love your energy and your book of poetry. Hello, my name is Ed Poetastic, motivated, fantastic. Please time to join my rhyme, Fafo Sublime. I got one poem, hopefully two poems, but I don't want to take too much time. This is called Ode. Let's celebrate you for everything you do. Thank you very much. It's okay to openly blush. Why are you thanking me? You're the ode in my poetry. I personally don't know you, but I'm not sadly blue. I don't know your name, yes, but I'm not unashamed. Do you know the rain that washed away the pain? Do you know the sun who was a pinnacle of fun? Do you know the earth never stopped giving birth? Do you know the wind that tickles your chin? Do you know the sea that's balanced and free? Do you know the seas that grows for your needs? Do you know the stars shooting near and far? Do you know your house or that pesky little mouse? I'm trying to prove a point. I don't have a PowerPoint. You know what I mean? Please be more green. I'm showing you love as the skies rain down above. I know I sound strange, but I'm not deranged. I'm not high on weed or blinded by greed. I'm not selling you anything because it's love or nothing. Don't be too judgmental. It's about heart, not mental. I'm showing my appreciation. You're a perfect model of creation. You're not perfect, but you try. You're a lovely woman or guy. Thank you.
Delightful piece. Thank you so much, Ed. And also thank you so much for being like there already on the mic and good to go. Pulling back to our list as we stand, and thank you, Ronald. I saw your message. We'll tie it all back in a bit. Sir Gerald, if you would like to take the mic, it is yours.
Hi guys. Dogs steal sticks, it's one of their tricks. If I ruled the world, it's a certain fact. I'd make them put them all back. Little one for you. I put a picture on Facebook of me reading at the local pub, the Fountain Pub, wearing this shirt. And I got some hassle. People said I was wearing my pajamas. And if you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see my poem about writing poems in pajamas in reaction to it. But I'm not going to read that poem. I'm going to read the poem about how I actually bought this shirt, which is an original 1980s Next shirt. So it's not cheap pajamas. And I bought it in Telford. And this is about that. And it's for my friend Ben Trumpeter, who was there when I bought it. And we moved to a bigger house, so we have a built-in wardrobe. So some of my old shirts like this have come out. And this is about it. We've acquired a built-in wardrobe with shelves for jumpers, but not for socks, which fall when you open the doors. There's room to hang shirts and trousers, extra space for the contents of suitcase brought down from our previous loft. I had a penchant, you see, for next in the 1980s, for bold, primal, and too expensive patterns, shirts with definite deck chair lines, for example. A pair of red and blue collage prints, Matisse exhibits hanging from my chest, a U2 sleeveless affair from the war tour at the Birmingham Odeon, a Christmas tree jumper I dragged out every year, even when patched to within an inch of its life. Flared jeans with a Flintstone print, not that I could get into those now. It is the past that looked back at me from that built-in wardrobe. How on a trip to the ice ring in Telford, when the church kids had wandered somewhere else, you egged me on to buy a shirt I couldn't afford. You even less. It was vicarious spending, of course, made us both feel good. Where are you now? Gone from the tower block with the dog you could hardly control. Gone from the garden you landscaped, the one we've now exchanged for a built-in wardrobe and space outside for other people's cars. I'm struggling to remember if I should have been more sensitive to your poverty, Ben. I was in my 20s, you see, and missed things which I remember now. Too much religion, it's hard to say. After so many years, when hypocrisy and charity vie in my memory with fear of failure. This is that shirt. I'm wearing it now. Perhaps I wore it when I went to see you in West Bromwich after you'd had your hip replacement. You weren't so old. It would last 14 years, they said. You hobbled on a stick, stoically praising the medics. You had a new partner but no replacement dog. That would be 30 years ago. I have to pay for landscaping now that we've moved to a bigger garden, now that money isn't so important, now that I've acquired a built-in wardrobe and shirts to fill them. Most of them not so bold these days, more like I am, over 60 and trying to become more sensitive. Fun about the shirt. Thank you.
Sharp, which is both a joke on citrusness and the poems themselves. Eee. Wonderful. Thank you, Gerald. Absolutely wonderful. Moving on down to Soria his house, the queen of the very femme of the international, Stacy Aldous Dyson. The mic is yours.
Fascinating intro, honey. Thank you. Okay, an older piece for y'all today. Is this how it ends, do you think? A giant hand poses itself with a tube and petulantly sucks the hours and miracles of lifetimes into a sterile, airtight bag, to be held tightly closed for 1,000 years, lest they spoil again. God holds hand over the earth, flicking the imperfect beauty of the world aside like a pastry chef dissatisfied with what seems so sweet and real to the rest of us, wanting to smooth the icing bland, clear to start over. I can't believe that. Believe in the possibility of anonymous expulsion. Believe I'm just another thousandth of a heartbeat. I'm a Black woman. I want a show. I'm a poet. I need the lyricism of angels' wings fluttering in 6-part music. I'm human and arrogant enough to be disappointed by my whimsy. The last doomsday call made me laugh. I told folks my preparation
for the final end was to eat a gallon of French silk ice cream and get right with Jesus. Shave my legs just in case. At 6:15, at 8 p.m., at midnight, when no trumpet blown, no fire falling from the sky, no earthquake or ominous horseman visited my doorstep, I wiped my hand across my forehead in mock relief and announced, "You dodged that bullet, huh?" All that fuss and preparation was something to laugh at. How could I take that level of foolishness seriously? Besides, my hair wasn't right. I knew the Lord would not dare let me meet my mother anywhere near the Rock of Ages looking like that. I was home free and safe. But after all the fuss died down, I started to think about how it would really be. I've had death on my heart lately. He walks a little heavier now than he did before. His footsteps are louder in the empty places created by my uncertainties, but I still can't believe in millions of hearts ravaged by fear, screaming penance and painful confession. I can't believe in a sudden nothingness, still and barren, where the only wine is blood and salt tears. 50 years of AME gospel and Southern Baptist, I'm a white glove wearing, dyed in the blood of the Lamb Sunday school teacher choir girl. I still believe in the rush of angels' wings, lifting me up to stand on line in front of those pearl white gates and explain to St. Peter how I did my sinning. Believe in Gabriel blowing the opening bars of Jamaica funk and the stars falling in Duke Ellington rhythms to light my way home. I believe in every single lyric line of Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, because I have been presented with no reasonable alternative. I'm not naive. I know the devil comes in 1,000 faces, breathing horror and destruction and one stinking breath of sulfur and pain. I know evil tags at the heels of vigilance, waiting for a slip and fall so it can create, then dine on carrion flesh. And I am as sure as the rush of angels' wings, as sure as I am of the footspan width of the bridge that crosses over River Jordan, because I heard Mahalia's notes lay certainty in fire, because I heard the blind boys of Alabama set faith in gold and lightning, because I recognize Precious Lord, Take My Hand is a battle song, not a lullaby. And I know you're saying you want a sign, not a sermon, a song or symbol, something to hold your heart together while you figure it out. Then listen. Listen for the wheel and fall of 1,000 minutes into an infinite mystery. Watch the sky for raindrops to hump shoulders and shake like a Harlem ballerina. Listen to Mahalia drop notes that burn in lightning and fire. This world is not miracles suffocating in an airtight bag, not an arrogant hand waiting to wipe dreams clean and traceless. It's the show. It's the eloquence of love and incredible pain, the anger created by whimsy and disappointment. It's knowing stars fall down in syncopated Ellington rhythms. It's hearing the difference between a battle song and a lullaby, and understanding how to count 1,000 heartbeats, and having the courage to trust your soul, and having the courage to cool your uncertainty in the lilt and rush of an angel's wings.
Well, that's how it's done, folks. So you can all go home. Kidding. Tesoro, this is what it's made of. Stacy, please, can you repost? I know a lot of people came in after we said it at the start. The link so people can come celebrate the Fire Singers on Sunday. Come on down. There are ticket prices and details about that. It's a well worth show. Imagine literally it's just a show of all of that. Thank you so much, sister. Thank you so much. Just before we hit our great headliner of this evening, Jenna, if you're happy to take the mic is all yours.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. I came and listened last time, and I thought I'd read you something this time. In the kingdom of the egg, I dreamt myself into an egg, safe within ivory walls, pinpricked with light. A speck, a chip of garnet on a pillow of honeyed yolk. I floated in an inland sea. It was not enough. I bloated a rubbery body, lidded eyes, sprouted claws and beak, scribbled scrawny wings, seized in my cell. Gripped in a marble fist, I chipped and chiseled, broke through the dome, staggered into a world of chickweed and thistles, cloudburst and sunshine, unshelled, unsafe, skydiving into my life. And I could give you another one as that was fairly short.
Yeah, Jenna, I think do, please.
Do you know what guppies are? Little fish in the waiting room. 10 little guppies born in a metal tank, slopped into a small sea, glide among plastic fronds, dip in and out of plaster archways, circle a fairy tale castle. 3 times a day, a handful of pellets drifts down. 3 times a day, the world comes alive. Striped, polka dot, lipstick bright, miniature torpedoes dive, swerve, dart, frothing the surface. 10 little lives, walled in, safe from the ocean's wild beauty. The waiting room empties. Lights are dimmed. Traffic is gridlocked on the M25.
Oh, how very lovely. Oh, so lovely to meet your poetry for this time, Jenna. Thank you very much. And please do come back again.
Thank you.
And with that brilliant little glint in the eye brings us perfectly to Beth Brooke, who is our headliner for this evening. Way! Beth, I am getting ready to read your bio. We're all very excited to hear you. Thank you for being here tonight. So, Beth is a retired teacher. She lives in Dorset, and much of her work is inspired by Dorset's landscape and history. Her most recent pamphlet, Chalk Stories, published by Hobnob Press, is centered around her experiences of living in Dorset and raising a family there. She currently has 2 Pushcut Prize nominations for poems in her, I never say this word, apologies, in her Ephratic collection, Transformations by Hedgehog Press, with the whole nominated for the Pen Herney Prize. Hedgehog Press also published her first pamphlet, A Landscape with Birds, truly alumnum of our beautiful art. Beth, please take over the mic because it is most definitely yours.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you to Jason for allowing me to do this. And it's lovely to see so many of my poetry friends here. I'm going to start with an apology to Kathryn, because one poem in this set she has heard before because she was at Cheltenham last week when I was reading there. But here we go. So the first 4 poems that I'm going to read are related to motherhood and children in some way. So the first 2 are linked to my elder son, and the other 2 are about grandchildren, the birth or absence thereof. So here's the first one. It's called Moon Myth and Motherhood. In the beginning, a single spark, shaved from the light, drifted down through the vault of dark sky into the belly of the waters, grew big, longed again for the expanse of heaven, became in its sadness as luminous as the opalescent skin of pearls, until the ocean said, "Go." Now the moon rises back into the night, looks down at the vastness of the waters, tugs at the sea, can never quite let go. And this next one, those of you who kind of know me from social media and poetry Zoom rooms will know that my eldest son emigrated to Canada a couple of years ago. And although I'm very happy for him because he's very happy, it was quite an adjustment for me. And this is a poem that I wrote when I was trying to kind of make that adjustment to the idea of Peter leaving. It's called I Imagine You There. In the afternoons, I watch TV, French-Canadian crime dramas where in every episode it snows and there are pine trees, vast emptinesses punctuated by mountains. I immerse myself in this new world. What happens in the dramas is irrelevant. I watch, imagine you in this landscape, imagine you moving in it, living your new life, happy. Imagine you connected to the snow, the trees, that distant emptiness, happy. Votive offering. The woman stands at her kitchen counter, chopping onions for the meal. She thinks about love and the quiet sound her knife makes as it slices. She thinks about onions, the tears they bring before the butter and the heat of the pan turns them sweet. The woman touches her chest, where she aches for the grandchildren who remain unborn. She imagines their tears, their sweetness. As the onions sizzle, she sings softly. It is a lullaby. This last poem in the ones about children was written for a competition. It wasn't placed, but it was published in the Yorkshire Times just before Christmas. The idea behind the competition was to write wall notes for an imaginary painting. So the poem comprises the wall notes, and I've called it Unto Us a Child is Born, Triptych, Egg Tempura on Oak Panels. Traditional as a devotional aid, this triptych of the birth of Christ is represented in the modern idiom. Pregnancy test in Mary's hand, Joseph in running kit. This is a low-key annunciation. In the central panel, the Holy Infant, delivered by caesarean section, is handed to his mother by an angel in scrubs. In the final panel, the child is celebrated. A black and white cat looks on. Worshippers bring food and tiny knitted cardigans, take selfies to memorialize this nativity of hope. In the background, choirs of angels sing. Right, these next three poems are well, they're slightly angry poems, if you like, maybe very angry. They're all political in some way, and they do all exhibit varying degrees of anger and darkness, so I hope you're up for that. The first is a prose poem written in response to a Kim Moore prompt that I found on Substack last month. The second one, I warn you now, is about the ancient Roman practice of defixiones, which is to say the scratching of curses on small pieces of lead, which would then be left at a shrine in the hope that the relevant deity would act upon them. And the final poem is about Nagpar. So anyway, this is a prose poem. It's called Self-Improvement. Obviously, I should go on a diet. Losing the 3 kilos that bulge between me at 67 and my premenopausal, pre-baby's 20-something self will make all the difference. I should give more of myself to charity, good works, helping others, a surefire a way as any to reduce my self-obsession. And I should count my blessings, read more, doom scroll less, stop wasting my time watching crap TV. I should try harder. I will try harder. I should stop voicing opinions. Who is interested anyway? I should smarten myself up. That goes without saying. I should drink a glass of decent burgundy with my evening meal because it's good for my cholesterol, my blood pressure, my dementia, my stress. I should stop trying to be a hero mother and cultivate sluttishness for a change. I should try harder. I will try harder. And I know I should try to give a fuck, but I just don't have one. Fictiones. Prepare lead, hammer it smooth, ribbon flat, fine enough to make a spiraled curl or an angry crumple of square thick enough to bear the weight of words. Now, inscribe it. Tell it as it is, the rage, the spite you kept hidden. Tell it in the language of damnation. Begin like this. May your house fall into the sea, your crops fail from a lack of water or too much. May your dreams be pierced by the howl of the banshee. May your children be fated to stumble into wilderness, never seen again, so that your heart is anguished, arteries silted by the awfulness of not knowing. May you know pain that is unbearable, but without the comfort of death. Now, fold, curl, drop the pain into the still water. Wait for the surface to seethe with vitriol. Hammer the lead of your pain onto the walls of the goddess's shrine. Go home. Sleep without dreaming. Sometimes you just get angry enough that that's what you need to write. Okay, so this poem is called Nakba. So, as many of you will know, it means catastrophe in Arabic. Nakba. We are already deep into that night where the unspeakable creeps out. We sense the tapping of its spindle fingers as it feels its way along the walls, crawls out to meet the rhythm of our hurrying feet. We are anxious to reach the safety of home, where the lamps are lit and there are, we think, no shadows to disquiet us. We walk, try to keep ourselves from running, but the monsters of our unfinished business wait just ahead. Wraith-like, they slip in behind us as we open the front door, sit in our favourite chairs. Their rictus smiles greet us when we enter the sanctuary of our living room and turn on the light. The next poem, a bit more cheerful, perhaps. It's about the carpenter on the island of Lampedusa in Italy. As you know, Lampedusa is often the first landfall for migrants who come in boats from North Africa. And the carpenter at Lampedusa, after one particular incident where the boat caught fire and all these young men had to be rescued, he made little tiny crucifixes which he put on leather thongs and gave one each to the young men as a kind of comfort, really. So it's very much a poem really about human kindness. The carpenter of Lampedusa lives near the church, goes to mass on Sundays, makes tables upon which bread is broken and shared. His faith is practical. He believes all men are brothers and you should love your neighbour as yourself. Some days, the carpenter of Lampedusa passes the harbour's graveyard of boats, all launched in the brightly coloured hope of new beginnings. They carried young men fleeing lives too hard to bear, wrecked them, washed them onto the beach of Lampedusa. Now they wander the streets, huddle by the harbour wall, homesick, afraid, their dreams full of deep water. But the neighbours of Lampedusa bring them in, invite them to the table, break and share the bread. At Mass, they offer prayers of thanks for these young men, their safe delivery, do their best to comfort them, while the carpenter of Lampedusa takes scraps of wood from graveyard boats, spends his evenings carving, shaping, makes talismans for each life saved, small crucifixes of thanksgiving. His faith is practical. And if he trembles at the thought of those they could not rescue, he pauses, prays, asks God to bless him, bless the gifts he makes from the splinters of boats that just keep coming. Christ in the work of his hands. Right, now, the next two poems, because I had a little message from Genevieve saying, oh, you can read a few more. So I had to very quickly grab a few more. But these two were originally the two that I thought I would finish my set with. And they come from my collection A Long Way Down, which is going to be published in the autumn by Vol. And that collection is about my father's life as a young soldier in World War II. He was born in 1920. And the impact that his war experience had on not only him, but also us, his children, his family, in peacetime. The first one I'm going to read is called Like Lazarus, My Father Returns from War. The cockroaches are heard, but unseen, a scuttle of bony legs into dark corners as Lazarus emerges from the tomb. He is dazed, confused at finding himself return to the land of living. His sisters cling, urge him into the light which blinds those eyes so lately used to the rich darkness of eternity. He gathers the shroud to cover himself. His family weeps, press round him, keen for news about the nature of the afterlife. Lazarus can remember nothing. Embarrassed by their disappointment, he looks at his feet, sees one of his toes is black. He is tired already by this business of living, wishes he could climb back into the grave with the roaches, his shroud, wishes he could climb back into the cool, the dark, silent. I don't know if any of you here know about Tyneham, which is a village on the Isle of Purbeck in Dorset. It was a little farming village. And in 1943, the government issued an evacuation order to all of the villagers. And it was taken over by the British Army so that the troops could use it to prepare for D-Day and for the invasion of France, despite assurances that they could return after the war, given by Churchill no less. The villagers were never allowed to. And what remains of Tyneham is deserted. And in about 1975, it was reopened on an occasional basis to the public. It just so happens that my own father did his street fighting training there in 1944. And Dad and I visited it together not long before he died in 1984. So this poem is called Muscle Memory. We walk the single street, its ruined houses either side of us, unroofed and windowless, monuments to grief and human folly. He doesn't speak, but I can almost hear the echo of snipers' bullets, the gut punch sound of grenades. In his head, I wonder, is he 23 again? Does he feel the way he learned to crouch, run from house to house, his body flattened against the walls of what had once been homes, with curtains and the smell of cooking? Is there a muscle memory of the business of killing in the hand that as a child I used to hold? Does that knowledge fade? Or has it all these years been quietly present, his shadow self coming to school sports days, walking the dog, drinking lager down the pub. Genevieve, do you want me to read another poem?
Let me double check with our man behind the camera. Jason, are we good for one single more, or shall we roll? Or do we need to roll on?
Yeah, we can go with one more. Yeah, that's fine.
We can go one more. Take it, Beth. Give us your uncle.
So I'll read you something from Landscape with Birds. It's called Sometimes. Quite a nice one to end on. Sometimes I think this is all I wanted. This view from the ridge, this summer blue, this ripening harvest, this light filtered through beech trees, the sound of the breeze. Other times, there can only be the rumble of the sea on shingle, salt smell of morning, the long climb down from Golden Cap to Seatown, and me thinking, yes, this is everything. This is everything I wanted. Then there is now, when I look up into the sapphire morning sky and see the swifts. Their boomerang wings slice my heart, and I stand there thinking, yes, they are taking the summer with them. Thank you.
Absolute who. Everyone, open up your mics. Big, wonderful thank you to a brilliant, brilliant headline by Beth.
Very clever.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well done, Beth, and thank you so much. And apologies for suddenly being yanked off in the internet and jumping back in like diving for a tidal wave. Beautifully handled, beautifully held. And you've probably got a better link to all the comments, but all the wonderful comments celebrating your wonderful lines. I hope you had some fun as well.
Thank you, I did. Lovely.
Thank you for such a beautiful selection of your works. Also, please, 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 please share links to all your pamphlets and all your books, so that we can all see. And everyone, just so we get our very stacked part 2 together, if everyone can now take their 5-minute break, and unfortunately we'll have to go for 5 minutes because we've got a very stacked second half. Pop to the toilet, grab your drinks. Please don't forget to tip your waitress. And we will be back for, I think that'll make it 10 past. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah, let's go for 10 past.
Yeah, and then we'll make sure, because we don't want to miss out. And we know we've had people kind of contacting and jumping up and down and putting different bits and pieces. So yes, if everyone can get back for 10 past, please grab a drink, head to the toilet, do your bits and pieces, and we'll restart then. Thank you very much. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, everybody, for your wonderful pieces and all the positive energy. I've had a couple of messages back and forth. In theory, oh yeah, there we go. All sorted for you, Richard. We have all our next poems and poetry in place. Thank you, Beth, for an incredible headliner. Absolutely beautiful. So, just for anyone who is new to us and may have not heard it in the first half, it's a bit of housekeeping again and our announcements. So, please mute for each poet. We all know what it feels like when you're starting off and then somebody starts talking over your poems. It never feels nice, so please don't do it to each other. You can clap after they've read. We're really positive here. We love adding comments and responding, so please do as you've been doing in the chat. The event is being recorded, so please only share poems you're happy to class as being published. We have had requests today for moving some stuff around with that bared in mind. We tend to run the recording, so do let us know if you can't be recorded. We'll see what we can do to move things around. But that said, after the next sort of 5 poems, we probably can't move stuff around that much, so just bear that in mind. Open mic poets, please keep to your 3-minute slot. People have been doing great for that today. Thank you so much for being really great in your choices and also keeping your time together. Please use the chat to share your bios, your books and events. We are massively into supporting each other. It really helps, and it's wonderful to hear what you're all up to. And the Gloucester Poetry Society is a volunteer-led society. Please spare a donation if you can. Jason's very good at popping up little notes to let you know. literally, it's a volunteer society. Jason himself works incredibly hard to make all of this come together. So if you can pop a little donation, it really, really helps. And also consider joining as a society member. It really, you'll get to find out a lot more about what's happening, particularly on the ground for the Gloucester Poetry Society, if you want to find out a bit more what's happening face to face. And for announcements, June Crafty Crows, the next one on, features Stroud-based poet Kate Potts. If you didn't know, this is all being set up from Stroud with Jason. So if you've not ever been to the region, it's really lovely. And July's edition features Deborah Harvey, who we've heard tonight. And finally, just a quick piece from me, which is going to be completely off the top of my head, which is my little trick. It's called Versus My Eyes. If sight can be static, I seem to be having it. I have 2 years before 40 will come. And as much as I cover and clear, I'm used to vamping to cover for a multitude. I'm starting to find the little buzz, a bit like the blur behind me, is starting to creep in. Age, I run away from in eyeliner and perfect lipstick. Yet there are things that cannot change. I worry that I suffocate with the sugars that were fine at 15. But not going to be so great at 45, making life choices I've avoided because society and theatricality have let me escape. But adulthood seems to be consistently choices. And as a ever moored millennial, set perfect at 87, I seem to finally have to make choices as my parents age out of existence that they previously knew, and I watch my nieces look up to me expecting good model decisions. I talk to my sister back and forth in letters in WhatsApp because that is a better system, and now I can follow her advice. She was always the older one, being younger than me. So I wear the clothing that I wanted to at 18. Wonder if romanticism is anything like I dreamed it would be at 20. Versus these eyes that can see the instances and the nuances and the same strange pushing back of arguments to do with the culture that we live in, the fights that I thought were dealt with already, backtracking backwards, yet fighting forwards, knowing progression. Hey, I'm a black woman. My situation in society is always at best a negotiation. So I got Lesley there. But in truth, hey, if you don't believe me, ask Stacy. That is the power of being a polemic. That is the power of being a poetess. That is the power of being able to speak through generations, whether they be the ones you born or didn't. You can make change by just being in the spotlight too readily, too long, too systematically. Because today, versus my eyes that are struggling a little, the thing that I loved the most before I knew I could hold a pen, I am surrounded by art of a gentleman that most people don't know who died too quickly and left the National Trust beauty from ceiling to floor to wall to wall. Another African, but also a Britishman. So I say to thee, as I pass microphones over to you, be important by being loud in ink or in your wording, because your life will move regardless if you want it to, and I am not yet 40. However, the magic is I still may have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, maybe not that long, years ahead of me to keep being loud in every forum. And with that, your mics are ready. The time is yours. Ron, if you want to. For you.
Beautiful.
Hello, everyone. Let me see now. Okay, this one is dedicated to my friend Laura Boss, who died 3 years ago. Laura was the editor of Lips magazine. She was from the Beat Generation. She was a former girlfriend of Gregory Corso, She was a buddy of Allen Ginsberg, and she was my friend for the last 9 years of our life. We both appeared with Ginsberg in the first issue of the Passaic Review back in 1979. Whoa. It's called The Wobble of Muons. These wobbling days grow to static centuries. Those who die today are grist for future times. Muon particles live on to saturate the mills of tomorrow. Yesterday's dreams orbit the earth, never to disappear, as long as there's an earth. And those who die today live on in the rebirthing muons forever, as dreams are reclaimed. And my second one and last one, this was written for a journal that specializes in Dada. I cleanse my ethics in the blood of a lamb. Your hot blood smells of the fire you doused with my ethics. These ethics melt from the heat of your blood. The melting ethics are hot to my touch, but cool quickly in the flush of your spit. Now I may have to wash them again before the lamb wakes and escapes. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.
Beautifully done, Rose. Well worth the wait. Well worth the wait. Moving on down, Lucy, if you're happy to take the mic, it's yours.
Yeah, hi everybody. This might be my first time reading. I think I've been to Crafty Crows before, but this is the first time I've read for all of you. So really great to be here and to hear everybody, and especially my good friend Beth. It's always a pleasure. So that was beautiful, Beth. Thank you. So I'm going to read a short poem in honor of Beth, who I know absolutely loves ekphrastic poems and is one of the people who taught me how to observe, lay my hands on an item, at least in my imagination, and let it speak to me, and draw out my own experiences too. This poem's in my book here, Daughter of Fire. I'll put a link later on. Thank you, Genevieve, for that kind offer to do that. And just a content warning, it's about a birth girdle, and it draws on experiences of traumatic birth. And the second one is in honor of my online friend Ivor Daniel, who many of you know, and Chris was kind enough to let me read a poem from the Rhineland. I don't have any Welsh river poems, but it's a poem of my new homeland here in the Rhineland that I read there for Ivor, so I'd like to read that for you this evening. So the first one is called Girdle, and it's after the ink and pigment birth girdle from around 1450 in the collection of the British Library in London. At this late hour, the doctors can offer no talisman. I must find my own blessing, a line to the world while I come untethered. It won't have gemstones, a paper charm would do. My body scrolls, tightens, intricate as a rose held by a crimson knot, a scrawled kenning known only to the flame. I unfurl, plucked of my small blue amulet. They gather him in silence, form a clean white circle. I grasp at fragments, quiet as confession, familiar as the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. And then the second one is has appeared in a Broken Spine anthology just this week, and that's available on Broken Spine's website if anyone wants that. Yeah, this is my Rhinish poem. It's called Love Song, written on 20th of January 2025. And it's after a quote from Byron: through green leaves lift their walls of grey. This is the time of lore and legends, hunting for gold under the mountain. Amber light advances on Byron's ruins. The funicular rumbles. Bats flit from roosts. Under green lindens on a cobbled outcrop, I tilt my glass dry. Oh, midsummer, this halfway place, the Rhine spilling treasure below us, and above, booming clouds. In such a place, I can believe in dragons, circling rock and sky, golden-throated, glittering Fafnir, back pressed into rock, Siegfried's roar, shadow, sharp salute. In blood chaos, a leaf floats onto his shoulder. Can you imagine trembling as you descend, yet answering such raging dark with light? Love, aren't we like that leaf? Your hand is soft but firm. The river is slow but singing. Thank you.
Oh, I am so glad I got to meet you today, Lucy. Definitely make sure we've got the link for your book in the doobly-doo. I couldn't think of the word for a minute for the chat box. It's been great to meet your poetry today. Oh, specificity, I love it. As kindly asked, Richard, the mic is all yours, sir.
Thank you. I was so blessed. I bought a very old house built in the 16th century. Friends warned me it would be haunted, but I do not scare easily. It was roomy with attics and cellars. I would love exploring it, not afraid of spiders, bats, me. One evening, just before bedtime, I entered a room to the rear and thought I saw movement in the far corner, probably just a trick of light, so I went cautiously over. And as I got there was a kind of waving of light, a feeling as though I was in a kaleidoscope, and I fell deep into darkness. I must have passed out as I woke up on a grass bank. I looked around and saw I was in an ancient graveyard. I was bewildered, even more so when I recognised the place. It was by the Haworth parsonage, famed as the home, so long ago, of the Bronte sisters. As I walked to the parsonage, I saw outside a frail young lady resting in an invalid chair in the sunshine. She was wearing a plain dress gathered in at the waist and reaching her feet. She held a fan and a handkerchief made of cotton, edged with lace. She opened her eyes and looked at me anxiously. I realised that somehow, through a portal in time, I had travelled back through the centuries. I was wearing denim jeans and a t-shirt with the famous image of my beloved Bronte sisters. Sire, I wonder who you are and why you dress so strangely, she whispered faintly, and how you carry my image and those of my sisters. The full enormity of my situation dawned upon me. I was in the presence of a genius, and she was clearly Anne Bronte. Miss Bronte, I'm honoured to meet you. Do not alarm yourself. I know not how or why, but I have travelled from the future. How do you know my name? She said faintly. Miss Bronte, in the year 2025. Your name is known and revered the world over. No, that cannot be. This is like something from Miss Shelley's book, so strange and outlandish. My sister Charlotte has some repute, but Emily and myself have none, and you wear all of our images on that strange garb. I told her that the three sisters were world famous. No, that cannot be, she exclaimed. As famous as Charles Dickens. She declared she felt faint. I told her a poetry was still sung as hymns, that Wuthering Heights was recognised as the greatest novel in the English language, and had been the subject of films, TV series and plays. She of course knew what the theatre was, but I had to explain the rest, and I felt she did not comprehend or believe what I said. She was ill and about to travel to Scarborough in the hope of recovering the fresh sea air. I felt sad, but did not tell her of her fate in that beautiful Yorkshire town, nor that her grave there would be having many visitors pay their respects every day of the year. I do not think she would have believed me. She pointed to a corner of the graveyard, and I saw that she was indicating a wavering light between brambles and briars, and I realised I could go home. I waved goodbye to Miss Bronte. I took my leave through the swirling vortex and arrived at my home, exhausted but happy. I had met and talked to one of my heroines, and that was a challenge to
record a conversation between you and a favourite poet, either living or dead. And I didn't want to do a great long preamble because it's about bang on 3 minutes and I didn't want to waste your time. So it's called Meeting Anne Bronte. Thank you.
Beautiful, Richard. Absolutely beautiful. And also, yay for Anne, because she doesn't get enough shouts outs. I always feel really sad for her in that. So thank you so much. Carrying on down our listing, Sheila, if you are ready, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Thanks, Genevieve. Can I just say at this moment in time to you and Jason, thanks very much for having me back on here to read. It's great to meet you all again. And some of the poetry is astounding. Well, most of it is actually. It's so great. So I love it so much. I'm going to read a couple from this book. I may have read them before here while I was sleeping. It's about forced adoption. I think Jason has heard it, some of those before. So just a couple of short ones, really, because my voice might not hold out. I've just had that dreadful cough that's going around. I don't know whether any of you have had that. So, can you hear me, Genevieve?
Hear you really loud and clear. You're good.
Great, thank you. So, shall I go on?
Please do.
Silver Bullets. I just want to say before I go on that this is a book about my aunt who actually had a child taken away from her when the child was 5 years old because there was other circumstances involved and she never got over it, never saw the child again. Silver Bullets. I walk the same ground you walk. We are leaves blowing in the wind. Did they lie, say you were unwanted? Did they tell you I abandoned you? The fallen moon hides its face in thick cloud. Know what it has done. I am bone broken, flesh forlorn, limb languished, lip split. What is there left but to stand here, watch for the shadow in the house? Will you look out of the nursery window, see the torch I burn for you? Remember the poppies, your father's courage, his trust in me to keep you safe. I am in confession without grace. I crawl on my knees. The night is heavy as stone. Rain falls on the streets. I am shrouded in withered laurels, shut out. You are behind enemy doors, renunciated. I am alive but mortally wounded. Silver bullets of wine and bread fell me. I bleed. And the next one, again, not terribly long, Kissing in the Dark. I cannot sleep again. 3 a.m. and my feet are in and out, kicking off the covers, tossing, turning, thinking of her. Sheets off, up to my chin, left side, right side, back to front. We had been dancing the do-si-do, laughing back to back, two ballerinas pirouetting around each other, not quite touching. Where are you? Are you on this side of the planet? Have you moved to another continent? Are you just doorsteps away, a woman all grown up? Are you weighing heartbeats too, measuring this maternal visit? Are you kissing me in the dark? Would I know you if we ran for the same bus? Would we fight for a parking space? Or say, no, you go before me. You have more to carry than me. My voice is just about going, so Genevieve, that's I won't go on for another one if there's a time anyway, because the voice is really gone.
No worries. You came out beautifully clearly, may I say.
Oh,
Real
thank you, Genevieve.
cadence. So
Yeah.
Please don't worry, Sheila. But it truly, actually, a lovely chance to meet you as well, may I say. You're a name that I've seen sort of pop around, but this is the first time I've actually getting a chance to engage with you. So hey.
Thank you. Well, thank you for everybody else. If I do have to go, if I have a coughing fit, I'm disappearing. I've got one more of these left.
No worries. Please take care of yourself as well, because
thank you very much. I've enjoyed the evening very much. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. This is what we're here for. And leading softly and nicely, Nicholas. The mic is all yours if you're happy to take it.
Yes, when my wife's grandmother died, I was involved in sorting through her stuff, and most of it was contained in a horrible old wardrobe. And this poem is called Burning the Wardrobe. All the heirlooms have been looted. I'm left with the rest. Box brownies, the booties of an ungrateful toddler, a crocodile clutch bag, shoe trees, a musty smock, boy's own papers, and a flaky lizard screaming in a jar, salted away with the dust of generations, tombed in a plywood wardrobe. I am the overseer of mementos, priceless to the dead they belong to. Snaps of the sullen fruit of a blitz wedding glower over the carcass of a marriage that warred on through peacetime, mounted in a plether album. Here, there are no letters tied up with string or posies pressed to remember anything. Thank you.
Oh, Nicholas, I'm gonna have to call you King of the Pauses, sir. The cadence, goodness gracious me. Wow. Lovely to meet you, sir. Lovely to meet you. Thank you for such a deep piece. Moving on, Chris. The mic is all yours. And also, everyone, thank you for doing brilliantly at time. We're really cracking on quite nicely today and really getting a chance to hear everybody.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Jen. This is a kind of a cut-up poem in that I keep reshuffling the orders of the lines. I'm not sure it's got there yet, but this is where it is now. It's called These Questions Blow Like Leaves from a Tree. Do birds all sleep in forgotten motels? Have the lights changed again? Is this the best you can do? What is the capital of the heart? Which of these seats was taken? Could it be forever? What's the worst new thing that could happen? When were you last in Rome, anyway? Shall I call the Hudsons again? If a man walks the streets, nodding and muttering, does he have imaginary acquaintances? If we took all these portraits at night, would we think any less of ourselves? Thank you. And the second one, it's short and topical. I think topical poems have to be short nowadays. It's called Waterboarding the Minotaur. The bull has not fed for days. We cannot break him. We still don't know if he acted alone. Confused, deprived of light, he signs nothing. Maybe his hands are cloven too. We have not asked him anything. We never intended to. We define our own defense. We will tell the world that the monsters have gone. We will not disclose how many more we've made. Thank you.
We will tell the world the monsters have gone. I love that. Also, please teach me your ways. Brevity is not something I can do. I'm jealous, Chris. It's lovely to see you with the mic again. It's been a while actually since I last saw you. But great to see you, man. Moving on to lovely Rose. The mic is yours. Can't wait to hear you.
Thank you. Interestingly, Chris, you just said that topical poems should be short. So this one's topical and it's not particularly short. It was written as a Poets Respond poem to Rattle magazine, and actually they chose it as their Poets Respond poem for that week. It was during those LA fires. It's called LA is Burning, Countries Are at War, and I am so damn grateful for my shower. And God said, let there be showers. And water fell on the bowed heads and shoulders of people throughout the land, and sluiced over breasts and bellies and buttocks, coursed down limbs and fingers and toes, and the water ran hallowed and hot on cold days, and blessedly cool in summer's heat, it rinsed sleep from just awoken eyes, washed mud and sweat off tingling skin. It mingled with piss and tears and bodily fluids, gulped shit, unwelcome hair, the tiny invisible eggs of parasites. The people dripped and shone. They took showers when they ached to wake up or wind down, or when they were lonely and longed to be touched. They fucked and screamed in long steamy showers, and babies were conceived as windows fogged and walls streamed and blossomed with mould. And the water ran and ran and ran. It obeyed the rules of water to find its own level, to dissolve, carry, deposit. It took our chemicals and waste, and lo, it whisked them to a place the people called away. And maybe God also said, let there be sewage farms and factories to turn out boilers and pipes and flanged rubber seals and nodding donkeys sucking oil out of desert sands, and let there be plumbers and designers and people packing marble tesserae into crates. And yes, let there be politicians telling us we have a God-given right to use as much of this goddamn planet as our squeaky feet, clean fingers can grip. And did God say, let there be firefighters with freshly bathed children sleeping in beds? Let them hose God-given water over the smouldering roofs of mansions nestled in droughted hills. Let them risk their lives putting out blazes round the blue-tiled pools of celebrities. Let the water run off asphalt and concrete. Let it run to the ocean to try to forget all it has seen and all it has swallowed. Let it return to the fish and the turtles and the immense forgiveness of whales. Let it cry, my God, why have you forsaken me? Thank you.
Your fierceness. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, Rose. Thank you very much. As I always say to people, share your links, share your bits so everyone knows where to find each other. Absolutely fantastic. Now to a poor gentleman whose poor ears have probably only just recovered up to now from Sunday. But dear friend to me and for all of you, Andy.
Hey, Gwen. Good to meet you all tonight. I know some people here, some not. What Jen is on about there was I doing a podcast called Spoken Label, which is a poetry spoken word podcast, and yeah, Jen battered me a bit on Sunday with love. It was great. So that'll be out in a couple of weeks' time. So anyway, 2 poems, yes. First one's from my, last poetry book, which is called Changing Carriages at Birmingham New Street. And this is an imaginary story about a couple which have an affair, which knew each other's children and reconnected later on. This is through the point of the man, Andy, not me. Unplanned weekend at Blackpool. Do you remember, Sarah, those purple open winters in that hotel on Albert Road and the beer-soaked train tickets tucked into that cup on the table when you said you loved me for the first time? That sunset that lit up the clouds, that made them look on fire on the rain on the pier, just outside the tower, like bleeding music, caught between dusk and dawn. Madame Tussauds, when you nearly got us thrown out for pleading with the guard 2 hours afterwards, and we missed our last train back to let us sleep on the platform. Do you remember, Sarah, the receptionist's face at the hotel when you put the waterworks on before sneaking in me afterwards, after he took pity on you and let you stay for nothing? I can still see the look carried in his eyes as you smiled while winking at me to hurry up, like your head was on a stick, half buried in the light. I refused to say anything, even when you got there 10 minutes after me, proclaiming it as a lucky escape, repeating the Polish you just confused him with, all the way into bed, shushing me asleep all night long. Okay, thank you. Right, this now is from what's going to be my next book. And this is way from being completed. This is going to be told from the point of view of Sarah. The book itself is going to be called The Other Side of New Street. And I'm nowhere near this yet, completing this yet. So it might take a while just trying to write a full book through the eyes of a lady, right? So this is The Morning After in Blackpool. Do you remember pulling seaweed from my hair, Andy? The morning after we woke up in that hotel on Albert Road and kept teasing me to the coach station about how I slept on the beach all night instead of that hotel. Do you remember sneaking past the attendant on the reception desk so he only charged me, then promptly threw his phone number in the bin, an embarrassed mess? Coral Island and the traditional chippy, which I had to push you quickly along, hoping the owner wouldn't remember you from the night before when you were sick violently on the floor. I still see a pause in your smile, Andy, when we got on the coach eventually, hovering between the thrill of escape and the sand you kept tipping out your shoes for days after getting home. Dancing on the razor's edge of happiness and sorrow, lodged as a flag half caught in surrender, a bittersweet echo of our childhood we both thought we had lost. The scars only come to fruition after we split. That's me done, guys. I've really enjoyed tonight. Thank you, everybody.
Divine, Andy. Divine. I felt like you took to the female gaze on that rather nicely. Also, thank you for sharing new shiz. Love that. Always a brave thing to do, particularly. Link, sir, so we know where to find all the books. Next is one of our old favourite double acts from all sides of our community, Lesley and Martin, as we know that you do your bits together and share. One of my favourite couples, I'll be honest. The mic is yours, guys.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'll just begin. This one's called The Train. The train took me to the place I sought. I lost my eyes, but it didn't matter. The light inside attached to the light outside guided me, and the light of all others I know inside me from the knowing of them, their voices, their faces, now still there, still in my inner eye. And I walked the strange streets up and down those hills, going down to the coast, and the people on their way too, like little dots of light, talking to me as I stopped, guided me, reassuring me that, yes, I am whole and clear and human, reading light as they did, as did I. They guided me. I do not forget my way. You do not forget. We are not alone, never alone. We were only that. We are connected, dots of light. Follow the dots. You are guided, and you will never lose your way. The second one is called The Reaches of the Night, and I dedicate this to my son, Piers. The reaches of the sky you left, you cannot touch now, only look in spirit. Its calm knowing has lifted you to that which is said we cannot touch, to touch the wordless, that other, but in saying it, this, it is not the what is we live with, this deep juncture, our secret as beings that we can at the same time that we cannot at any moment transcend the believed and be as spirit dancing with the stars in the night sky. Is that what you want? Your intention to not be there, yet be there now where you cannot touch nor be touched? The reaches of the sky at night took you. You reached for it upwards, towards this, the longing for, the uplift for it, for the other, and it lifted you. Gone now? The lower reaches called to you, for you, to you, aloft on your perch there, and looking down, you answered yourself, called to you. Now forevermore, waiting there no more and forevermore in your ways, waiting there hovering between worlds. You know then, at that moment, you are, and you never forget the coming back to middle. You are walking, coming back to you, as you are here, and you never forget that you are both up and down and in the middle now, and see you. You see above the knowing that there is hell, and being not afraid, you are afraid, and unleash the light that shines emanating from within, and that you know the within, which lights the way, is that which lights the way. illuminating all in its cadence, its own rhythm, deepening the shadows so we know that they are there, the shadows, even though we do not want to see, to look more into and further into their depths, that which we do not want to see, to know their mysteries so we know that they are there. And one more, this one's called Found Light. We find that we are there, the diagonal path through the overhanging trees, sure and clear, the branches clamoring for our attention, pulling at our clothes like eager children. We did not expect the laughter, the sudden laughter that played through the trees, the steady hum of insects, all the while a sweet song across the reach of trees and higher up into this watchful sky. We embrace, found now, in this pool of light that marks this spot, this end of the path, and this time now, we are together, found now in this light, found together and not alone, found now and not lost, never lost. So that's it for me. And I'm going to turn the mic over to Martine. So he's going to read one, and as we always do, he will read in his language, which is Spanish, and then I will read
in English.
Yeah, I will read in
Good
English.
evening, everyone. The name is Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué tal? De repente escucho una voz que no ubico de dónde viene, mas yo sé que es mi conciencia. No estoy alucinando o loco o nada que se le parezca. Créanmelo. Si me escuchan llamándome la atención o reclamando, es porque me estoy poniendo de acuerdo con mis conflictos. Suelo gritar de repente, llorar en ratos y reír después. Levantar mi vista y ver las estrellas. Abrazar a la luna llena. Cantarle al amor. Respirar y dar gracias a la vida. Suelo ser independiente, vago, libre, soñador, poeta y loco. Odio juzgarme en nombre de mejorar. ¿Mejorar qué? Si solo hago lo mejor que puedo. Y ahí estás, una vez más. Hola. Ja. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás hoy? Espero no me deprimas como la vez como ayer. Sí, ya sé que no soy bueno en eso. ¿Y qué? Créeme, sigo haciendo lo mejor a mis alcances. Comprensión y entendimiento. No tengo la culpa de nada. ¿Por qué me miras así? Sí, ya sé, se los he dicho, que estoy hablando con mi conciencia, conmigo mismo. No estoy loco, es solo que mis errores me atormentan hoy. Las malas decisiones como experiencias. Nada, absolutamente nada, puede cambiar lo hecho, incluyendo mis felicidades. Hoy quiero llorar, quiero reír, quiero ser yo. ¿Y por qué no? Miren, no estoy loco. Ahí ni soy un marciano. Soy humano y mis emociones como mis sentimientos de repente se me escapan. Oh, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Perdón, no me di cuenta de que estabas aquí, observándome, escuchándome. Ups. Y yo hablando. Por favor, discúlpame. Hola, ¿qué tal?
Okay, I'm going to read in English. Hello, how are you? Suddenly I hear a voice. I can't place its source, but I know it's my conscience. I'm not hallucinating or crazy, nothing like that. Believe me, if you hear me calling my attention or your attention or complaining, it's because I'm coming to terms with my conflicts. I tend to scream suddenly, cry at times, and laugh, then look up and see the stars embrace the full moon. I sing to love, breathe, and give thanks to life. I tend to be independent, lazy, free, a dreamer, a poet, and crazy. I hate judging myself in the name of improvement. Improve what? I just do the best I can. Are there you? And there you are once again. Hello, hi, hello, how are you today? I hope you don't depress me again like yesterday. I already know I'm good at it, so what? Oh, excuse me, I already know I'm no good at it, so what? But believe me, I'm still doing the best I can, understanding and comprehending. It's not my fault. Why are you looking at me like that? I've already told you I'm talking to my conscience, to myself. I'm not crazy. It's just that my mistakes haunt me today. Bad decisions, like experiences. Nothing, absolutely nothing can change that, including my happiness today. I want to cry. I want to laugh. I want to be me. And why not? Look, I'm not crazy, nor am I a Martian. I'm human, and my emotions, like my feelings, suddenly escape me. Oh, hello, how are you? How are you? Sorry, I didn't realize you were here, watching me, listening to me. Oops. And I'm crying. Ha ha ha. Please excuse me. Hello, how are you? So that's all for us. Thanks.
Thank you so much, both. Oh, it's always so lovely just watching you kind of like perform and play together. Also, loving the little claps people was having in the background. Thank you as always for being here. Moving on nicely and softly, Sue, the mic is yours.
Thank you for that mic. I like that. This one's my hopscotch poem. Hopscotch. The numbers should be in a straight line, like a road, or left to right with a 0 at the centre. Hopscotching them is wrong. It's not even that the odd ones make a pattern for your feet to land on. You say I should be throwing a stone to tell me where to jump to, that just going from 1 to 10 is not how it's done. I don't tell you I'm only doing it because it's there, or that I think using a stone is wrong. I like the smoothness of dice and counters, the satisfaction of rolling fair-weighted ones. It worries me that the squares aren't square. And what of the chalk with its impermanence? I fear I cannot hopscotch with you. It's okay if you don't want to play, you are saying. I understand. But I don't want you to understand. I want you to change the game, adapt the rules, and make it better. I'll play, I tell you. Just don't make it stop at 10. Make it last longer. Make the squares as square as you can go to 100. And find me the smoothest pebble possible. We can't use a stone if it goes to 100, you tell me, as you pocket the chalk. Thank you. So I just brought one, Genevieve, okay?
That's absolutely fine. And what one to bring. Lovely, lovely imagery. Thank you so, so much, Sue. Well, moving on down. Kathryn, the mic is yours.
Thank you. I'll just read one poem, fairly recent one. It's in memory of my older sister who handed on to me on one birthday her Olivetti portable typewriter. Olivetti. left behind somewhere, the Olivetti. Maybe one house move, it just wasn't retrieved from the garage of abandoned things. Maybe its faux leather case was mistaken for an old-fashioned shopping bag. And yet, cocooned inside, like sexy underwear wrapped in tissue, a sleek, gun-metalled carapace. All the glamour of the 60s. Audrey Hepburn, Vestas, Trevi Fountain. Then, courtesy of cool grey metal, my handwritten scrawls moved on to the impersonal authority of print. I joined the company of real writers. Lost things can be recovered, like the old bear who sits on my bed, but never the Olivetti portable, overtaken by improvements. And sometimes, consigning my words to the cloud, shutting the slim and lovely Mac air, I long for the solidity of what's lost. All those words rising like butterflies from the keys. Thank you.
Oh, delightful. Thank you ever so much, Kathryn. Right, moving on to possibly the smiliest man in all of the universe. Sarfraz, sir, hey, would you like to take a mic?
Hello, hello, hello. I am here. You're right. Okay, so I'm going to read from one of the books, not the latest one, an interview with the poet, but I'm going to read from this book, which is the early works. Yeah, can you guys see that? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to plug in the other. There we go. There we go. Okay. Right. Let's just put that bit up as well. Okay. So I'm going to read the Phoenix. Yeah. Let's just put that in. And put that in as well. Let's just put that on. Okay. So I'm going to read the Phoenix. From the depths of ashes, I rise from flames to answer those who once called me names. From the depths of ashes, I rise from death to answer those who took my breath. From the depths of ashes, I rise from fire, burnt my skin, scarred my outer layer, but couldn't destroy the person within. After bitter years, through turmoil and tears, there's still more to give, stronger than ever, possessing the will to live. With energy flowing, pulsing my veins, I healed my pain. Now, here I am, standing before you, radiant, glowing, a spectacular view. I have risen from the ashes, from the sulphur, a burning flame. I am the phoenix, strong enough to fight, to take flight, again and again.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have I got time to read another one? Or we are quite...
Yes, I was about to ask actually. Yes, you do.
Okay, right. I'm going to read this poem, which is called "To Be a Dead Poet," because I think once we are not on this earth, we shall get famous, and all our books get sold, and that's when it really kicks off. So I wrote this poem called "To Be a Dead Poet." We all remember every word dead poets have ever written. But no one reads my poetry anymore. But if I was dead, I know they would read it for sure. Dead poets get their poems transformed into plays, become immortalized in many ways, while my poems are left to become old, unread, covered in mold. Dust settles on its pages, while dead poets get their works performed on the world's finest stages. But no one reads my poetry anymore. It gets written and locked behind closed doors. Deep down I know, as soon as I go, depart the world, my poems will gain notoriety, like dead poets, like Dead Poets Society, and in another life will continue their journey into immortality. Thank you for listening. Thank you, guys. It's been great.
And passionate. Good, sir. Well done, you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for listening. It's been brilliant. Thank you, guys.
Well, I think drawing to a different type of fire, built of black and orange stripes, it's got to be done. It's got to be Courtney. Whee!
I love that introduction. Thank you. So lovely to see everyone. I've got a couple of poems today to share. The first one is about being diagnosed with chronic illness, and this is called Everything Changed. Head down, eyes down. I think I might have caused a riot. Okay, I know what's coming, but it still leaves me in pieces. I can do all the preparation in the world, but there's no preparation for the fact that my life is not the same anymore. And that's when I grieve. I grieve for the person I once was, the things I used to do and what I used to be. I wish I could be her again before everything changed forever. As I sit quietly in the corner, wondering what life will bring, all I know is that it's going to be unpredictable and it's out of my control. And that makes my mind go into a trillion pieces 1,000 times over, because all I know is that I need to know what, when, where, but that's out of reach. So for now, I'll grieve the girl I lost and hope that one day I'll find some light in the dark. That's my first one. Second one is actually really short. Actually, it was based off a prompt, and the prompt was write a poem in 45 words. So I took that and wrote a piece about my growth and how I, just to show that. So this is called I Become. I have become what they don't want me to be. Strong, powerful, voiceful, more aware of my being. Healing the pain that I suffered in silence, embracing my differences. No more denying, hiding away, to treat myself more kindly. I will become unapologetically myself without fear. Thank you, everyone.